Hey everybody, this is Algebra 1, Lesson 36. In this lesson, we're going to be learning the distributive property with fractions. So we're just going to do it the same way we do the regular distributive property. So here is 36.1, and I'll do a couple of examples for you. So 36.1, this one says use the distributive property to expand. It has x squared over y squared times a over y, look at the wrong thing here, times x squared over y squared minus 3y to the third over m. Okay, so we're going to distribute right here, so we're just rainbowing. X squared times x squared would be x to the fourth. Remember, when we're multiplying exponents, we add them. And on the bottom, we have y squared over times y squared, which will be y to the fourth. Then we're going to go over to this one. X squared times negative 3y, that'll be negative 3x squared y to the third. We don't have any x's to put with this x, and we don't have any y's to put together, so we just write them down. Alright, and then we have y squared times m. Alright, and that's your answer. Just like that. Alright, so we just multiply on the top, multiply on the bottom. Let's try another one. M over z times AXP over MK minus 2m to the fourth p to the fourth. Okay, this one's a little different because it's a whole number. We're just going to put it over 1, okay, so we don't get confused. So whenever you have a whole number, make it a fraction over 1. Alright, first we're going to multiply here, and we're just going to write each of these variables down. None of them can be put together. So A, M, X, P. Or we could have done it in any order we want. So we could say M, A, X, P. Okay? This one we're going to put together. We have Z, M, K. Okay? Then here, we're going to write our number first. And then this m can go in with this m. So here we have 4, and then we have one more that we're multiplying, so we have 5 m's. And then we still just have p to the fourth. And on the bottom, z times 1 is just z. Alright, so that's the answer to that one. Okay? Alright, let's do another one. A b over c squared times xab over c plus 2bx minus 4 over c squared. Okay, so this middle one is just a whole number. It doesn't have a fraction, so we're going to put it over 1. Okay, so first we're going to rainbow right here. We're going to have A, we have 2 A's, A squared, and we have 2 B's, so B squared, and then we only have 1 X, so just our X. Then we've got C times C, C squared times C, which would be C to the third. Okay, now we're going to rainbow out to this one. We have our 2. Always put your number first. Our A, there's no A's to mix with that one. Our B, we have 2 B's. And then we just have 1 X. On the bottom, C squared times 1 is just C squared. Okay, now we're going to do our last one. And that would be a negative, and that's 4AB. So I just put in my 4, and I put in my A, and I put in my B. Now I'm going to do the bottom. So I'm doing C squared times C squared. That's going to give us 4 C's. Right, so that's what the answer to that one looks like. Okay. Alright, that's all the examples for that kind of problem. Now we're going to work on minus signs with negative exponents. So if we have 4 squared, that means 4 times 4, which would be 16. If we have 4 negative squared, that means 1 over 4 squared, which means 1 over 4 times 4, which is 1/16. Alright, what if we have negative 4 squared? That means we cover up that negative, 4 times 4, which is 16, and then we put the negative on, so negative 16. Alright, now we remember that if it's in parentheses and we have negative 4 squared, that means negative 4 times negative 4, which would be positive 16. If we had negative 4 negative squared, okay, so we're going to put a 1 over it to get rid of the negative. Now we have negative 4 squared. We can cover up that negative, and we're going to have 1 over negative 4 times 4, which would be negative 1/16. Okay. If we had negative 4 negative squared, okay, so what we're going to do with this one is we're going to put our 1 over it to get rid of this negative on the exponent, and we're going to have negative 4 squared, which really means 1 over negative 4 times negative 4, which would be positive 1/16. Okay, so your first step in these, whenever you have a negative on your exponent, is to always bring that down, bring that to the other side of the division, the other side of the fraction bar, and get rid of the negative, and then work from there. Alright, are there any more examples of these? No. Okay, so go ahead and do the practice problems, and then I'll come back and work them for you. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and did the practice problems. I'm going to start with A. I've got x squared over y times x squared minus 3, x squared over y minus 3y squared over m. Okay, so I'm going to start by rainbowing right there, and I'm going to have x to the 4th, and then there I'm going to have x squared. Now I'm going to move on to here, and I'm going to have negative 3 x squared y squared over ym. So that's the answer to that one. Now if you put any of these in a different order, like you put y, that's still the right answer. It doesn't matter what order they're in. Alright, B. am over b squared times xm over ab minus 3ab plus 6m over b squared. Alright, so I'm going to do these one at a time here. I only have one a. I have two m's. And I have one x. Then I'm going to go here. I have one a, and I have three b's. Okay, then I'm going to go to this one. Put my number first. A's, I have two of those. B's, I have one. M, I have one. Then I'm going to go, oops, that's over 1. So that just means b squared. Okay, then this one, I'm going to put my number first. A's, I have 1. M's, I have 2. M squared. And then my b squared times b squared means I'll have 4 b's. So b to the 4th. Okay, that was b. Now I'm going to do c. C is negative 4 negative squared. Okay, so to get rid of that negative on my exponent, I'm going to put a 1 over it. Now I can cover that up. That means 4 times 4, 16. And I have negative 1/16. Okay, so that's the answer to C. D is 1 over negative 4 negative squared. Okay, to fix that one, I'm going to put it to the top of the fraction. So I'm going to have negative 4 squared, which would be negative 16. Cover that up. 4 times 4 is 16. Put it back on. All right. E, negative 4 to the negative third. Okay, so to get rid of that, I'm going to move this to the bottom of a fraction. Okay, negative 4 to the third means negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4. 4 times 4 is 16. See, those cancel, and I'm going to end up with a negative number. 16 times 4 is 64. So, inside of here, I would have negative 64. Okay, you write that out. Okay, these are going to cancel, so I'll have 1 over 64. Should be the answer to that one. Let me double check that. Just double checking my answer key. Want to make sure. That was E. Yep, 1 over 64. Okay. And then one more. 1 over negative 4 to the negative third. Okay, to get rid of that negative sign there, we're just going to move it to the top of the fraction, which means that's not a fraction anymore. So we're going to have negative 4 to the third. And we just did negative 4 to the third. That means negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4, which is going to be boom, boom. And we have one negative left. Negative 64. So that's going to be negative times negative 64. Those cancel, and we're just going to get positive 64 as the answer to that one. Positive 64 is the answer to F. Okay, and this is all the stuff that we covered in class last Wednesday. So if you weren't there, we're just doing 36 as the homework, and then bring that to class on Wednesday. If you have any questions, just ask when we get to class, or you can send me a message. All right, thanks, bye.